Hey guys, it's Kelsey and I'm here with a mood board layout for Mercy Tiara's 27-day inspirational YouTube hop. This is the summer series and I loved all three mood boards that Moira picked for us. This is the one I'm going with for this page. I am using Die Cuts with a View Autumn Chill paper pad, which went really well. I actually had just picked up this paper pad a few days before Moira released these mood boards, and as soon as I saw this one, I was like, oh my gosh, it is going to go perfect with that new paper pad. So I'm starting with a fresh paper pad. I have all these papers to work with, which is good and bad. I love cracking into a new paper pad because of course you have your pick of all of the patterns, all the papers, but it is also really hard for me to do layery bits with multiple papers with a fresh paper pad because I like using scraps for my layers. You guys know this. It kills me to cut into a 12 by 12 for little scraps. So I'm trying to kind of balance that throughout this layout. This one does have a cut apart, which is super nice. There's actually a few cut aparts in this paper pad, which helps a lot because it's basically a sheet full of scraps. So I cut apart all of these. I'm going through the ones in the color scheme. That's really what I started out with. I just flipped through the paper pad, pulled anything that felt like the mood board for me. I relied heavily on the colors, but also a little bit of the texture. I started with this nice plaid that I felt like it had actually all the colors of the mood board in it. Then you see me pull in a few more greens, a few more pinks, and then it was feeling a little bit too pastel-y, like almost like a baby album type layout. So I did pull in this really dark, rich chocolate brown. It has a little bit of texture on it. I don't know if you can tell, but it reminded me of that barrel that is in one of the photos. And there's a lot of texture in this mood board. There's a field, there's stone, there's wood. It's very like antique-y, and it just it gives you a really cool feel. So I'm really trying to pull that into the page while using this paper pad and the textures that's already in it. I really wanted to pull in a doily. I felt like that already added some texture. There are some white flowers and a few white elements in amongst these other darker muted colors, so I think that really helps add that texture, add that freshness. And it's a doily and I can't help myself. So that's going to make it on here. I know I want to pull a photo, one of those pocket cards, one of those little cut apart pieces into the right of my photo. I'm thinking I'll use this one. I liked the color of it. I thought it looked nice, and I figured I could do my journaling on it as well. But then you see I also have this tag that I cut out from the cut aparts, and the more I look at it, the more I want to do my journaling on the tag, and I really don't feel like I need two journaling spots. So you'll see me play around with that. But right now I'm just trying to get the background together. I really liked the idea of maybe doing a few horizontal strips top and bottom. So I'm starting out with this moth paper. I think it's super pretty. I love these little moths. So I just cut a strip to go along the top, and then I cut another piece from this pink, and I'm going to use my border punch to tuck up under that. Thankfully, this paper pad is double-sided, which I love, which helps me with my layering because even though I used 3 papers, I think, including this 12 by 12 background, you get a lot of different pattern papers because I'm using both patterns, B side and A side. So that really helps with me trying to layer, since I only have to cut into one paper to get 2 different types of, looks. So that's really cool. At first I was thinking I might just do the borders on the top, but after I added that, it was looking a little bit unbalanced. So I just cut a few thinner strips to mimic that same look down on the bottom of the page. I don't do a border strip or anything. I just wanted it to be a little simple detail down there, but that drew your eye across the page and kind of balanced that top section. So I'm gluing that down really quick, and that's going to go down on the bottom. And then I will start working on the photo section. And you see that little piece of trim there that Lisa sent me. I'm still hoarding it. I love it. I can tell already it's probably going to be hoarded until I do another Felicity Jane layout because it is such a cute little piece of trim. I did want to get it on this layout, but then my proportions ended up not really working with the size of the trim, so I'm saving it. I'm gonna hoard it for another layout. I can't help it. But here you see I pulled in that Today Is pocket card as a contender. I really like that it brought that green that's in the strips on the top and bottom of the page into the middle of the page, so I ended up going with that pocket card instead. and I like that a lot better. But yeah, as soon as I got this background together, I really started to see how pastel it was, which the mood board is very light and airy, by the same time kind of muted colors. It's very taupey and mauve and, you know, that kind of vibe. But I just really needed something darker to kind of ground everything. And when I look at the mood board, my eye went straight to that barrel that's in one of those photos, just because the color is so rich. It really draws your eye. So I really wanted to pull in that color. So I really think this polka dot does a great job of that and kind of grounds the rest of the layout. So I cut a huge chunk of that. I wasn't sure at first if this is going to be the size I was going to go with, but after I cut it, I was pretty happy with it. Kind of just grounds the rest of the stuff I'm going to go with. And then this piece here, again, is another B-side from, I think it was that polka dot, or maybe it's the back side of that moth paper. I can't really remember. But I just wanted a few more layers, so I just cut a border strip across that, and that's going to be my little shelf for all of these other elements to sit on. I really like using this as a design principle where you put a literal shelf on your page and sit everything on it as if it were a wall or a mantle. So I really like that look, so that's what I'm going with. Again, I matted my photo in a B-side of one of these papers. I think that's the back of the pink. I can't really remember. But you can see already how many different patterns are on this one layout, and that's only using, I think, 3 papers since they are double-sided. So that's super cool. I do pull in some twine, and that is just some plain white twine I stole from another tag. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do my journaling. I decided for the Today Is card, I was just going to circle which day it was, which it was a Monday. And then I would just layer this other card, which is I cut into a tag, over top of that with my actual journaling. So this photo is another one of our Hawaii photos where this was right before we went on that horse trail ride through Jurassic Valley. So I just took a little selfie in my awesome little dorky helmet just because I was so excited. And we got there early. We kind of browsed around for a bit until it was our time to go. But as soon as we got that helmet on, I just had that feeling like, okay, it's time. We're getting on horses. We're going to go trail ride, and it's going to be great. So that's kind of what my journaling is about. I did go through some Stampin' Up! Markers to try and find a color that matched really well. I went with a kind of corally orange that I felt like matched the orangey pink that's in the Today Is card, as well as my photo mat. So I'm going to do my journaling really quick here. It just says, safety first. I was excited to don my helmet as it meant it was almost trail time. They had us mount and dismount from the right side, which felt super wrong. I got a beast of a big bay gelding named Hula, and we got along great. Time for Jurassic Valley. So I am a horse rider. Love riding horses. I don't do it competitively anymore. I used to do barrel racing, mounted shooting, hunter jumper. So I'm sure you'll see those photos at some point. But yeah, you mount traditionally from the left side. You mount, dismount, put your saddle on, cinch the girth, everything from the left side of the horse. I don't know whoever decided to do it on the left side, but that's just what you do. And here, the way they had the mounting blocks and it all designed for easy flow and for people who aren't used to riding horses, just the way they set it up, you had to get on from the right side, and it felt so wrong. I could feel every single horse instructor I've ever had screaming at me that I was getting on the wrong side. So that was very, very weird, and something I wanted to document just because that really stood out in my mind as part of the experience. So that's why I did decide to include that on the journaling. And then I have these really cute thickers that are rose gold. There is some rose gold foiling in this paper pad, so I figured it was a great time to pull in some more rose gold. So I do pull in one of these sweet little hearts. I wanted to pull in one of these little leafy things as an embellishment. This piece here I just cut in half was a branding strip from one of those 12 by 12s, and I decided I would just tuck it in as an additional little layer top and bottom of this big brown chunk. I just didn't want it to go to waste or get lost, so I figured I might as well glue it down onto a page, and I really like how that little bit of detail, just adding that little extra paper layer top and bottom, really helps. So I'm gutting this. I love this plaid. I'm sorry, Miranda, I will not stop gutting. I can't. I'm sorry, it's part of who I am. Miranda makes fun of me because I gut like crazy. You guys know this. But this plaid was so cute. I couldn't cover it up and not save that chunk that's behind all these layers anyways, so I'm sorry. But I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I will save that plaid chunk for another day. And let's see, I'm just trying to get this backing off. If you can't tell, I'm still having the hardest time getting the backing off of this tape because I still have my acrylic nails from our family reunion on, and I cannot do squat with them. But here you see me adding that little bit of piece of the branding strip, top and bottom, and I just love that little bit of detail that adds. So yeah, there's my little Coke. I love drinking Coca-Cola. It's like one of my drink choices for daytime scrapbooking. But now I'm going with my title. I decided I'd bring in more of that rose gold glitter. I was just looking at the words that were already on it, and I figured I would just mix and match these two fonts. I think they look super cool together, and just call this Paradise Favorite because we are in paradise. We are on Hawaii, and this was one of my favorite things we did while we were there. We did a lot of cool things, but riding through Jurassic Valley on horses was definitely at the top, so I figured that made sense to call it as my title. Almost done here. I just felt like it needed a little something down by the tag to build it out a little farther. Just seemed a little bit too empty down there by that little leaf, so I just built up a few more layers with a few scraps. I cut a banner out of a scrap from my photo mat, and now I just want some enamel dots or something to kind of finish off the embellishment. It's not too heavily embellished, so I just wanted a little something, and these Heidi Swap teal, bluey green arrows and triangles looked super cute. So I got almost that entire sheet of the triangles and arrows on here. So I end up moving the two arrows, and I just have triangles by the upper left hand corner, triangles bottom right hand corner, and then arrows going from the title down to the journaling. I really like this. It helps direct your eye around the page and draw your eye across all the different elements, as well as gives you that little pop of green that you don't see so much on the page. It's really just on the pocket card and that photo piece that's top and bottom of the page. So I think that was the perfect touch. Here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you watch everyone else on the hop. Everyone's doing a different challenge, so it'll be super fun to see everybody. Thanks guys for watching. Bye.